Welcome to ChiroSecure's Empowering Women in Chiropractic, the Facebook Live show for successful women by successful women, proving once again women make it happen. Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. Now join today's host, Dr. Julie McLaughlin, as she talks learning, living, and teaching. And now, here's Dr. Julie.
And we're live.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am Dr. Julie McLaughlin from Vital Health Protocols, and we are here today with Empowering Women, sponsored by ChiroSecure. And first thing that we want to do, and we always start the show this way, is thanking ChiroSecure for being such an awesome malpractice carrier for us and bringing us so much valuable content with all the shows that they do. So let's everybody do a thumbs up, little hearts, and let's show lots of love for ChiroSecure because we wouldn't be able to do this without them. So thank you so much. So today's show, I am very excited to introduce to you Jacob McNamara. He is our intern here at my office, and he graduated from, or he's going to school at Palmer, Florida. So welcome, Jacob. I am so excited you're here today.
Thank you, Dr. McLaughlin. I'm excited to be here.
So we have a really great topic that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about preceptorship. So we have some slides to share with you. So let's get started on our slides, and we'll start this going. So we're going to talk about how we can help the next generations of chiropractors get a great start. And so this is my first time even having an intern, or even know that interns needed preceptorships. So what is a preceptorship, Jacob? Could you explain it to everybody for me?
Yeah, so I'll start with just the definition that is provided by our preceptor handbook from Palmer. They define it as a short-term structured clinical education experience in an off-campus clinic that conforms to the college's preceptor program requirements, and those requirements vary state to state. And things like that. And basically what it means to me is having a mentor to kind of guide you while you're beginning practice as a new doc, especially because there's a lot of things that we miss in school and you really don't even get exposed to it until you're actually out in the real world practicing.
Yeah, it is so great because, as you guys know, I practiced been for 30 plus years. We're just going to leave it at that. But when I went to school, we didn't have preceptorships, and I didn't even know that it was a possibility. And so, Jacob, could you tell them how you found me and how this all worked out?
Yeah, that's a pretty good story. So obviously COVID-19 happened during the middle of my clinic experience at Palmer. And that put a whole wrench in me kind of finding a preceptor, and I reached out to multiple docs. I kept getting told, sorry, because of COVID, we're not going to have the room to take on another intern, or I share a building with another doc and they don't feel safe with bringing another person in with their patients and things like that. So just about everything in the book you can think of is happening. And then luckily I had a patient and she knew a doc in Maryland, and she's like, well, my doc teaches across the country, other docs, and would you be interested if I gave him your information and he can see if he can find you somebody? So I was like, okay, sure, nothing much of it. And then I reached out the next day and immediately I got a response and I was making contact with Julie. Dr. McLaughlin. I think we talked on the phone the very next day, and we started getting the ball rolling, and now we're here.
Yeah, it was so awesome. It's so random, but it turned
Mhm.
out to be so wonderful
Oh, the best
because
part about it is I'm already experiencing tons of things that we haven't gotten in school, like such as acupuncture, observing that, the functional medicine, which is something I was always very interested in. We just covered very little in school, so actually seeing it in practice live is an amazing experience.
it is so it's so good, and it's so good for me because I'm learning things. I'm learning new techniques and things that since I haven't been in school for so long that I'm learning from you. So it's really giving our patient the best care. So I really think that there's been maybe a myth that we've all heard that chiropractors eat their young and all of these things, that they're not
Mhm.
helping the younger docs. And I want to just work on dispelling that myth because helping students help the profession, helping students help us in practice because we're all on the same team. Do you agree, Jacob?
I couldn't agree more.
No. So we want to make sure that the message is out there that if you don't have an intern, you've never had an intern, reach out to the schools because the process I found out was really, really easy to get signed up. And it's been like the best experience for both of us because we really are on the same team. So I want to really disperse that disillusion that practicing docs don't want to help other docs coming up because the truth is we absolutely do. It's in everybody's best interest. I think we can all agree that there aren't enough chiropractors in this country because we all have so many patients that we can help, that we need more docs. We need to get bigger and stronger and have our voice heard and have our services felt by so many people across the country. So, what can you learn slash teach in 3 months that wasn't taught in school? So we talked about some of the things, Jacob, acupuncture and
Mhm.
functional medicine. What are some of the other things?
So some of the big things that I'm sure all new docs and fresh graduates are really, really interested in is proper billing procedures, um, how to put value on your service as a doctor, because we, get all this great education. We learn so much about the human body and how to help and heal people. But when you're in student clinic, you have different types of pricing. The patients coming in, they know that you're a student, so they kind of have that over their head, thinking, just not giving you the value that your treatment's actually worth. And we just don't really have a good understanding going out in practice of like, okay, this is how much I'm going to charge for an adjustment for my exams. And that's one thing that's been really great. And you've been showing me, every single day, every step that goes along with the billing procedures and just, new patient flow, returning patient flow, how to use your EHR. And I think that's one of the big things that we as new graduates really need is how to properly bill, so we can make some money and continue to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I knew you were going to come in, I wrote a list of all the different things that we do in the office because I know when I went to school, I got zero business training, like not one single business class. And when I graduated and I told my dad, well, I need to, open my own practice, I need to get a loan. And he told me, well, you need to write a business plan. I'm like, well, what's that? And he's like, didn't they teach you that in school? And the answer was no. And so I think that I really want to make sure during this preceptorship that business part, that marketing part, the patient flow, the insurance, all of that stuff that you're able to learn because that's something that you need for the entire rest of your career. Um,
Yes.
so when we think about like the clinical hands-on experience with real patients at every stage of care, what do you think about that experience now here versus what you were exposed to before?
So the biggest difference I would say is probably the pace. At school, we didn't really see as many patients. There were so many, student interns, and so many, just like a few patients. So you spent a lot more time with the patient through every step of care. And in actual practice, what I've been seeing here is you kind of work your flow so you can see his patient, getting doing some sort of other therapy or modality while you can start, seeing another patient, and kind of the pace that goes, as well as just, like the first and the second day visits, how to talk to the patient. It's a lot different when, you're in practice versus you being at a school, trying to convince the patient, like, hey, you need this care. This is what's wrong. This is how we're going to help. And, moving on from that point.
No, that's excellent. And those are the things that, I learned through experience. And if I can give you that shortcut, like here's the words that I learned that worked. And
Yeah.
that's what we want to do, because those are things that we really don't learn in school. And you learn them. And then the beautiful thing is we see patients every day. So you get to
Hmm.
practice, and that's the way that we get better. And I like to role play. We role play a lot in the
Hmm.
office
Yes.
because it's practicing. So and so
And just
the
another thing to add to that, sorry, Doc.
yeah.
Um, we're in this bubble at chiropractic school where, we're surrounded by so many individuals that just know so much about chiropractic. And something I know that I struggle with personally is the communication part with a patient that, they don't have the same education as us. They don't know the human body like we do. And observing you communicate with the patients with the knowledge that you have and the way you're able to, uh, digestible pieces for the patient for them to understand has been extremely beneficial.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I tell lots of stories to my patients so they
Mhm.
get it, because we need that to be stick. We want them to be compliant. And if they understand it, and you're right, in school, we, talk in our big doctor lingo and
Mhm.
terms, and everybody knows what we're talking about, but the patients, they get really lost. So it's really, it's a fun transition for me to be in practice for so long, to remember back what it was like to be in school. So what about the business side of practice? Obviously we talked about the insurance a little bit, but the billing and the collections,
Mhm.
is that helpful to learn?
Yes, that is very helpful. So we do at Palmer, at least, we have some business courses towards the end of our time there, and they're great, and we do definitely learn in them. But we had COVID, which made things unfortunate, so we weren't in person. So there was some, misunderstandings with, class, and missing certain things that you wouldn't be able to ask the teacher in person that we missed out on. But other than that, it's still just really not enough actual knowledge and education given to us on the business side. And when you're actually in clinic at school, uh, we only accept so many different insurances. A lot of people just pay cash because our prices were so cheap. Uh, Depending on if you were a student or a first responder or things like that, your care could have been, discounted even more. So it just wasn't like a realistic uh, situation we were in as far as, opening up a business in the real world. And that's one of the greatest things about preceptorship, I think, is seeing that side and, how to incorporate your skills around the business.
I think that's great, because yeah, we made sure that we said, okay, you're going to learn how a patient with insurance when we're in network is
Hmm.
handled, how a patient who has insurance but we're out of network, so they would be cash patients, Medicare patients, how we do care plans, all of those things. And that really, that business side of it, as well as the marketing. You've been doing some live videos with me. We've been sending out email marketing, and we're working on a lot of virtual things, because we know in Illinois things are starting to shut down again, and with COVID. So that's why the functional medicine, we do some weight loss, those pieces. We want to give you a really good balance of learning everything, that whatever you do, wherever you go, there are going to be things that you could use for your entire career. And that's my goal. And I would hope that other docs who are thinking about getting an intern and being a preceptor would consider the amount of experience that they have that they could share with somebody is huge, and that they should totally do it. Um, so we sat down and we talked about our marketing plan. And did you learn marketing in school, or is it different out here in the real world?
So we we have to make a business plan. It's a very rough business plan. Don't get me wrong. And there is a marketing portion of it, but uh, it's just not very realistic when you're not, really doing it. And we weren't actually allowed to market, uh, Facebook or anything like that during school, uh, because there were certain rules against that and things like that. You couldn't, market these prices and things. So doing the videos with you has been awesome. Kind of you showing me the systems you use to spread your message out there has also been really beneficial. Actually, really eye opening too, because I didn't realize how involved it really was.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's great when you have a plan and that generates referrals,
Mhm.
and it generates knowledge because we really choose to market by education. We educate our patients. So and it's been so fun for me to not be doing it by myself, to have somebody else to do it with. So I think it helps the preceptor. So this is the experience has helped me, hopefully as much as it's helped you. It's been just such a fun thing. And so any docs that are out there that are considering having an intern or didn't even know that it was possible to have an intern, I would highly, highly recommend it because we need to help prop up this profession. We need to help that next generation of docs be successful because it's only going to help everybody. Would you agree, Jacob?
100%. I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of gaps in our education. We learn a lot how to pass the board exams and do well on those. But as far as how to make it as a business, um, the preceptorship is probably the most beneficial thing I can say that I've experienced throughout my time at school.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. It makes me very happy. And I hopefully all of you will consider doing a preceptorship and taking on interns in your practice because, as you know, I believe in all of you, and together we can take this profession to the next level. So thank you so much for joining me today, Jacob. I really appreciate it. And if all of you want to know more about what we do, our website's Online VHP. And of course, we have to thank Cairo Secure. They are the most wonderful sponsor. And I want you to be sure to join us in 2 weeks on Empowering Women with Dr. Nathalie Beauchamp. We'll see you soon.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. We hope you enjoyed this week's Facebook Live event. Please like us on Facebook, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing all of you next week for another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Now, go ahead and hit the share button and tell your friends and colleagues about the show. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. This has been a Cairo Secure production.